mention was made about the well plugging accounts. Has any discussion been had regarding opening up the drilling operations again on state lands, as where the state owns the actual mineral rights? I mean, we're sitting on billions of dollars in revenue. Has any discussion been made on that? Because that could go, part of that could go to the well plugging.
Yeah, so we have had internal conversations about the level of capacity in the existing leases. So I think that needs to be taken into consideration when we're talking about any expansion of drilling on state lands. I believe Secretary Dunn had indicated before that there is existing unused capacity in the existing leases. So I think any broader conversation around new drilling would have to take that into consideration as well.
Well, and even drilling underneath from pads off of the Commonwealth's property, because they're doing 5-mile plus laterals now. That's revenue that we're not getting. It's just appalling to me with the budget situation that we're in, that we're not looking at that as direct revenue to the Commonwealth.
As to your point on lateral drilling, I do believe that there have been conversations with some existing companies around that as a potential avenue. I can't speak to the status of those conversations, but I do know that we've...
Well, I know the drillers are ready, willing, and able. We need to get beyond the talking about it and into the doing it so that we've got money to address the shortfalls. Secretary Reber, you had mentioned earlier that you have a statutory responsibility to with construction of the budget, when actually it's constitutional responsibility under Article 8, Section 12 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. And that section specifically mandates that the governor submit a balanced budget and a financial plan. It was adopted April 23, 1968, and largely because of the rapid expansion of government at the time and the need for the legislature to be able to deal with costs of all the programs going beyond the future years. It was a critical need, and that requirement, and specifically the language says annually and at times set by law, the governor shall submit to the General Assembly a balanced operating budget for the ensuing fiscal year set forth in detail, with proposed expenditures, classification by department or agency and by program, and estimated revenues from all sources. If estimated revenues and available surpluses are less than the proposed expenditures, the governor shall recommend specific additional sources of revenue sufficient to pay for the deficiency and the estimated revenue to be derived from each source. Part B says a capital budget for the ensuing fiscal year, setting forth a detailed proposal of expenditures to be financed from the proceeds of the obligations of the Commonwealth or of its agencies or authorities from operating funds, and a financial plan for not less than the next succeeding 5 fiscal years, which plan shall include for each fiscal year the projected operating expenditures classified by department or agency and by program in reasonable detail, and estimated revenues by major categories from existing and additional sources, and projected expenditures for capital projects specifically itemized by purpose and the proposed sources of financing each. Now that's a constitutional mandate. It's very simple to understand, as is, I think, the purpose behind it. And yet, every year since Governor Shapiro has been in an office, we have not received, we're basically getting flat-funded projections for 5 years, all the time. And yet, the IFO and this committee's financial team have been doing some pretty good projections on where we were going to be. And we've projected how much we're drawing down on the rainy day fund. We've been projecting where we are right now, but the governor's budgets continue to fail to report those outlying years. I know you're new to the office, but it can't be new to you. What is the reason behind this other than hiding it for the purpose of the budget address?
So yes, Senator, I've read that section of the Constitution, and I believe the way that we provide the information to the committee, as well as the way we present that information in the budget proposal, I believe meets that criteria. And you know, I also have looked back at a selection of other budget proposals since that effective date in 1970, and I have been able to find it's not just the way that this administration has budgeted it, but it's the way that the budget has been proposed since that constitutional amendment was effective. But you know, the way that I read the Constitution is that we have to provide for a budget, a balanced budget in the budget year. And to your point, and what I had stated earlier, if there is not enough surplus or current revenues to cover the expenditures, then we have to provide for new revenue sources, and we've done that. And then as it relates to the financial planning for the Commonwealth as a result of our budget proposal, you know, the way that we present it is that we provide for what our proposed investments are in the Commonwealth, and then we show what we believe the impacts of those will be over that 5-year period.
Well, I'll just close with this because I know my time's up, but when you know that you've got contracts, which is your biggest expense in personnel, that give consistently 5% increases per year between the step increases and the contract release, that's a minimum of 5%. And you're not even projecting that. I have a hard time accepting what you've just stated. Thank you.